Walt Disney Studios are continuing their centenary anniversary with the launch of a new short charting its history called Once Upon a Studio. And that story is going to kick off today's trending stories. Let's take a look at our Hot Topics brought to you by Walton Arts Center.
I wonder, do they have a song? When you wish upon a studio.
Oh, a studio. I like that.
Hey.
Could be. It's Once Upon a Studio.
You can have that, Disney.
You know what? It features 543 Disney characters from more than 85 feature-length and short films. Once Upon a Studio, its multitude of characters to celebrate 10 decades of storytelling. The company has been celebrating throughout the year, of course, with events across international locations. It also has announced that it will be re-releasing 10 classic animated movies on the big screen, including Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 101 Dalmatians, Toy Story, and Frozen. Once Upon a Studio is now streaming over on Disney+.
I love that. I love the release of just the 10 classic films. Because do you remember back in the day when you used to have to wait for the movies to be released out of the vault, and it took forever.
The vault,
right?
I know.
The vault, and you were so excited when they came out. Now, you know, you have access to them, but you have to have Disney+ and everything, which is great. But to see some of those favorite movies, especially 101 Dalmatians is a favorite one of mine. To see that on the big screen.
Yes.
I love that.
I know. Do you remember the VHS, like the packaging they would come in? Like that big bulky plastic thing you had? Yes, I had all of those lined up.
Nice.
I wonder where they are now.
Coordinated. All right, well, it is spooky season, and a haunted house is offering a one-of-a-kind experience. Check this out. If you've ever wanted to be buried alive, here's your chance.
What?
Trapped is the latest addition to the burial chamber. It's a huge haunted house complex in Wisconsin that has been open since 2001. According to the attraction stories, visitors are volunteers who arrived to rescue miners who got trapped in a collapse. The room fits about 30 people. So what you're looking at, those are germ-resistant balls. They fall from the ceiling, burying participants. So the reporter who did this story says that the room is really, really dark and that the balls individually, they don't feel very heavy. But of course, a bunch of them, she did say that they did start to feel a little bit heavy. And then the balls all kind of drain out of the room. Would you try this?
You know what? I have to be honest. Not a lot of things scare me, but being buried alive, I think, is one of those things. I was glad to see that reporter was able to keep her head above the melee there.
And listen, I know people at home are like, listen, we used to bury ourselves at Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz Pizza when we were young, but we felt safe doing that. This,
I don't know. Yeah.
My nerves are shot.
I know. I also have questions about germ-resistant balls, and I'm really wondering where those... is that a real thing? Okay, yes, we're going to move on. A New York library can finally close the book on a missing item after 90 years. That's right. Larmont Public Library received its copy of Youth and 2 other stories in the mail last month. As you can see, the original checkout date was October 11th, 1933.
Must have been good.
Yeah,
good
had
read.
to keep it. At 20 cents per day over 90 years, the cumulative late fee should have come to more than $6,400. But luckily, the library caps its late fee at just $5.
Okay, good for that library, because nobody's about to dish that out. But that's awesome, though.
Yes.
Maybe it's like I forgot about it and somebody found it like at their grandparents' house or something.
It could be, yeah.
Well, if you love crime-based podcasts and the sound of Keith Morrison's voice, and I know that I do, then you're going to love this story. The Dateline anchor is reading some of the most suspenseful and chilling works of fiction that you'll ever hear in his upcoming podcast, Morrison Mysteries. You can listen to a preview of it now. The first story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is one of my favorite things to listen to and hear around this time. That is going to be out just in time for Halloween. And let me tell you, with Keith Morrison's voice.
Yes, bring it
That's
on.
going to take that story to another level.
It's going to do it. Yeah, I love it. I love that story. I love that podcast idea. Man, great stuff.